I have to be careful what I say because a friend of mine just called me with something urgent. Whatever urgent is, underwear's on fire. So I called him right back after he stopped my video with a WhatsApp call, and he said, "I can't talk right now." And he hung up the phone on me. So it just ended my video. So I was able to get the bracket in place, and the bolt is in the block, the metric, whatever number that was. And now I've got to put the nut on the starter stud, and it's a little chilly here, but it's definitely not freezing, but it's close enough. I was talking to some people in South Carolina. I've got a couple of friends in South Carolina, if you can call them friends. Stop buying cars! Don't take a lesson from me. And it was 33 degrees there, and it was 35 here. Anyways, now it's 70 there and humid. You can always wipe your brow when it's stinking hot in South Carolina, but when it's cold here, you can't work. You cannot work when it's cold, when it's ice cold. Okay, that's threaded on. Now I'm going to put my phone down for a second. Here, you can look at the brake caliper. Hook up my air ratchet. Make sure it's in the right direction. I just undid that. Where is that big loopy thing that holds the battery cable? That's the way GM did it, this monster. And you cannot do this without the air ratchet. Well, you can, but good luck to you. This is a cheapie, and I've got the air pressure cranked up, so it's not the best thing. Oh, I was taking out this bolt here, and the bolt pushed the air ratchet into the exhaust manifold, and every time you touch the trigger, it would tighten it up, so I was able to get it off. But, well, I wanted to spray some stuff on there. I got some thread locker on that nut. That I don't want thread locker on it. Maybe I do. You know something? I do. It came off on the red Suburban in California. Oh yeah, wrong direction. How did I do that? What a bozo. Nobody likes when you insult yourself. Oh, and there goes the nut. Ah, yeah. Oh. No little cap on the bleeder. This truck needs front brake pads. Maybe I'll go to my friend's rebuilding shop. I'm going to turn the radio on and listen to the news. I'm addicted. I love listening to the news. Takes my mind off my own. Wait a second. The nut's on. There's a nut. Blue thread locker. Oh, I know what I did. I had two nuts. One that came off of a starter I'm going to bring to the rebuilding shop, and one that, maybe I should have two nuts on that thing. I had trouble with the red Suburban in California 3 or 4 years ago, 6 years ago, and the starter didn't have the bracket on, so I finally put a bracket on, and then I was cranking that thing till the end of time, and I went and looked, and the bracket was just dangling off the starter. It eventually busted the block or broke the bolts. I think you should put new bolts on. Not that I would do it, but I could, I would. You should put new bolts on because these bolts take a heck of a beating. Every time you crank this thing up, that starter twists a little bit. Because GM didn't oversize the bolt. They just used the same ones as a 6-cylinder or a 4-cylinder. Iron Duke, same bolts. Okay, I'm not going to tighten this with this because you can't tell how tight you're getting things, and that's definitely not a very big nut. So I'm going to take my crappy cobalt ratchet, which has a lot of play. You can't get it to tighten. It just swings too far. It was cheap, but one pays the price of cheap tools. Make sure it's the right direction. It just has a lot of, it's a fine tooth head, but it has a lot of slop, so you can't get any swing. This is a time when a 12-point socket would be advantageous. Oops, it'd be better if I focused on what I was doing, huh? I've got to look up all the parts that we need. See, it's not tightening. Look at all the swing that I have with no ratchet action. There, click. Nope. So you have to turn the ratchet with your fingers, which I can't get my hand in there. Nope. Junk. That's junk. Cheap Chinese crap, just like Sears Craftsman. I saw that Tool Teardown had a video on comparing a brushless Craftsman tool, but it's all made in China garbage, just like the bearings that Erico got for that rebuild he was doing, or did on the transfer case. I'm gonna do that the other way. Everything is made in China. Everything. Went to buy a coat. My coat's getting kind of shredded at Walmart, just because I was there getting some other things. And Dickies. Guess where it's made? Oop, I think I just stripped it. I feel like it's hard to get loose. I'm going to put a second nut on. Ching-chang, China. Even Dickies. Everything's made in China. They come to your door and they say, you see these coats that you make 100,000 of for $10 each that you sell for $35? We'll make them for $2 each. And if you try and knock them down on the price, they just put thinner threads in. I was looking at some of the stuff in Walmart, and some of the quality was just blah. Walmart definitely sells cheap stuff. Okay. Anyway, these are actually not bad, these gear wrenches. They're always on sale for half price. I bought these years and years ago. Some of them are curved, and some are straight. These are the curved ones. So I'm going to double nut this. See if I can get it to tighten. Same deal. Nothing swings. I'm going to have to get a regular 7/16 wrench. Don't go away. Alright, I'm back. Let's see if I can get this 7/16 to work. Tight squeeze. Got the cable, battery cable on the bottom, which I've disconnected. Nope. And exhaust manifold bracket for the glow plugs just above it with the tubes. Time to use this air gun. I don't want to use it because it's going to over tighten it and strip it. I can't really control it. Can't even get in there. I'm afraid to do it. I'm afraid. Let me see if I can get the open end on this thing. This battery cable isn't helping matters. It's got the solenoid wire attached to it. It's right in my way. I need that couple of degrees swing. Yeah, it's still loose. Strangely, it's a 7/16, not metric. I was at one of my tenants' apartments. They served me Thanksgiving dinner. That's so nice of them. And they were watching videos on a monster TV in HD. And they turned on one of my videos, and geez, you can even see my nose hairs and the dimples and my wrinkles. How tight do you make that? Wait till it strips and back off. Come on. See, the cable's in the way. That's out of the way. Frustrating, huh? I can see it perfectly. Can't put a long ratchet through because the engine mount's in the way. There's the block drain. See it behind the engine mount? Allen plug? How you supposed to drain the block? Which is what I'm doing this for. I want to pull this starter. Oh, 12 point, yes. You can get a grip on it. There, nice and tight. I wanted to pull this starter. Okay, now 1/2 inch. 9/16, 1/2 inch. I wanted to pull the starter and have it rebuilt. It doesn't crank very well. It starts off. So the starter's not sounding as good as it can, but I want to put the block seal in it, and maybe I'll deal with it in the spring, pulling the starter, because I've got roof work to do. That's the tight direction. I've got roof work to do, and it's going to be cold, and I've got other things to do. Pulling a starter, bring it to the rebuilding shop. I don't trust the ones you buy on eBay. They're $100. They're junk. Everything lasts a year, just like Erico was saying. Oh yeah, I meant to tell you, he bought some parts from GM. I'll tell you why GM parts, AC Delco, come from China. Remember a guy named Mitt Romney? He bought AC Delco. Was it 16 of the 17 factories or 17 of the 18 factories? And he closed them and shipped all the machines off to China. Am I getting my Wikipedia facts right? And some owner of a football team in Detroit wanted to buy them, but Romney had better connections or more money or whatever it was, or a bigger credit card. One of those metal ones that you click down and it's made of some alloy and it tings when it hits the counter so people know you're rich. Anyways, he bought 17 of the 18 Delco factories. I think I have my facts straight. I think I do. Just like the little train, I think I can. And he shipped everything off to China, which is why AC Delco is made in China. And you don't know what you're getting. Might as well just buy some local, from the local store, like he said, the downtown store. And that's how AC Delco ended up in China. And the owner of that football team is, and the magic word is, who knows who the owner of that football team is that wanted to buy the AC Delco brand and the associated factories and production facilities. I'm getting a good grip on this. What's the difference between, geez, I heard it on some radio show years ago, a plant and a factory? There's actually a distinction. That's rolling off. I gotta put my finger in there and hold the ratchet on. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna hold this on. I can snap it back, a couple more teeth. 180,000 foot-pounds. I got a pretty long ratchet on, a 1/4-inch drive. So AC Delco is made in China. Dickies, rigid tools. Everything's made in China, and they're only going to make more stuff. Or Vietnam, or Thailand, or unpronounceable countries. Trump ain't going to fix it. I hate to disappoint you guys. Too late, he's 50 years too late. There was a giant sucking sound, and that was all the jobs going to the maquiladoras in Mexico, sucking all the life out of the southern cities and bringing them all up to the border towns. I've said this before, but Canada's population, 90% of it, is within 100 miles of the border. Not the same in Mexico. So when you bring jobs to Mexico that were formerly in the Mexico City area, the greater Mexico City area, or you create jobs that didn't exist in Mexico on the border, it brings all the labor force up north, way up north, to towns that were just dusty outposts, and something that didn't exist before. Whereas in Canada, they manufacture in Canada. Most of Canada's population, 90% of it, is within 100 miles of the U.S. border, so it didn't change much. Oshawa, British Columbia, all the populations in the south. Look on the map. Whereas Mexico's population wasn't in the north. I'm getting my facts right, so. What are we doing here? Trying to get this socket on that starter nut. Why isn't that going on? Maybe it's a 13. Ah. 14, 9/16. Can't tell if I'm getting this socket onto the nut. My hands in the way. My gloved hand. Here comes the rain. Drip, drip. I don't want to put the air gun on it because I'm going to bust it off. Gotta be boring you to death. Look at this. That's a starter nut that I found on a different starter. What size is this one? That wasn't even the one that was on the starter. I don't know why my socket isn't fitting. I'm perplexed. Perplexed. Where did that word come from? I was watching Brian's mobile, and he turned the camera on himself, and I just realized I had never seen him That's something I've been doing on YouTube since almost day one. I think one of my first videos when I was behind the wheel, in the passenger seat on the left side of that Franken Rolls Royce. I think I turned the camera on myself on video number 3. So I've never been shy to show my face, and somebody made a comment on the Corvair forum years ago that I'm, what do they call, what was that word they use? Someone that likes to show off who they are. And nowadays there's so many people on YouTube making videos where half the video just shows their face, and I can think of one guy that reminds you of a vacuum cleaner. And I've watched the videos, but I'm not going to make a negative comment about somebody else's videos, but it's too much FaceTime. Of course, I'm boring you to death right now by just babbling away, and all I'm showing you is the same stagnant picture. And I admit it, I could have paused it or fast forwarded it if I was into editing. I got a call from a guy, I'm not even sure where. What was the area code? 510? I forget. 501 area code? He wanted me to video the guys in Decatur, Illinois, but he wasn't from there, installing electric power steering on a V8 Corvair. I said I would do it, but I don't have any skills. Anyways, he called me back a couple of days ago. I was in an important meeting, a government meeting, and he called me back to say he found somebody to do it, but I was free to come and watch. But I said I can't get away. I've got a million things going on. I'm going away with Mr. Spike Punks with Mr. Nick. And I'm taking Nick to Nick's garage. It's not his garage. I'm not going to put this bolt back on for that. That thing is just dumb. Or maybe I'll put it back just to hold it in place. Survivor. Where was this thing attached? Right there. Under the brake pipe. I think that bolt is long enough to hold a clamp that's 10 times the size of the cable. And under a brake pipe. I'm going to pause you. I'm boring you to death. This isn't a joke. Hang on. That was kind of dumb. It took 2 seconds. I just put it in a couple of threads. It's not going anywhere. And look at this. I don't know what they were thinking when they put that monster on, but I've had it on a couple other ones. So I've got that double nutted. Got that bolted in with a lock washer. Turn the light on. And all my tubing protector, split tubing, is all falling apart. Plastic. So I guess I'm going to crank this baby up. Maybe I'll leave the camera right here. And then I've got a guy coming over to help me with some roofing. And maybe I'll put the camera underneath. And I'm going to put the block seal in. There, maybe you can see what's going on. How's that look? That's the jack. And we're going to crank this baby up. I just unplugged the block heater. Oh yeah, here comes the rain, just in time for me to get up on the roof. You'll hear how this starter kind of winds up. It needs to be opened up. Look inside. Oh, you're not going to see anything because I disconnected the battery. Battery is disconnected. So I'm going to... Well, I can't show you tightening the battery cables. I'm sure you've all done that. Sometimes I watch one of my old videos, they show up, oh, look how corroded those are. I gotta pull those bolts out and clean that up. That's why my trucks always start. People ask me, how do you get these diesels to start when it's cold outside? I make sure everything's in perfect shape. GM engineered these things. For the most part, their engineering is fine. It's just when they had single master cylinders up until they introduced doubles in 67, 63 on the Cadillac and the Rambler and Studebaker. So we need a 5/16 to tighten those. I'm going to pause you for a second. Okay, I got the battery connected. I'm going to put the light back on and kill the battery on this phone and plop that. Which way should I put it? This way? I don't know. Put that right there and crank this baby up! Neighbors must wonder what the hell I'm yelling about. I think that's what Scotty Kilmer used to call his channel. Crank this junker up! Alright, glow plugs on. 1001, 1002, 1003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and blast off! Crank her up! Should have cranked it without the glow plug. raining. Uh-oh. There she blows. Okay, I shook the heck out of this. It says shake well. I did. Whoops. Oh yeah, all over my nicely laundered flannel shirt. Gerbil, 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 gerbil. All over my nice tools. Everything's gonna get green. Oh man. I'm gonna clean things up. Don't go away. I cleaned up all my tools. Put them all away. Maybe the pressure released. I want to put this K seal in. I want to work on the blazer also. If I start this thing up, it's just going to pressurize, and I wanted to fill it up with this little bottle. I was looking at the picture of it. It showed a guy's hand with this little bottle. It's hard to believe that. What is in there? 6 or 8 ounces? What's in this? 236, 8 ounces. Not a lot of room for it in there. You'd think it would unpressurize because it can't create. I'm trying to get it to go down the overflow bottle. Oh yeah, there it goes. I'm just squeezing the upper hose. I've got a couple of dual thermostat conversions for these trucks, these 6.5s. I was thinking to put it in while it was running, but that's not going to work, and it doesn't really matter. You just put it in, you put it in. 22-minute video. OMG. Who's going to watch a 22-minute video? Okay, I'm going to dump it. Guess I'll just set the camera phone device right there with the radiator cap. Hold it in place, maybe. Oh, just don't breathe. Here it goes. K-Seal magic in a bottle, snake oil. It's got good reviews. I guess I gotta take a chance. Sure beats doing a head gasket or flushing the whole system, which is what the other products recommend. A full flush, drain, flush, fill, run, and then flush again, and then refill. Sounds like a lot of work. Uh-oh, there it goes into the overflow bottle. Shoot. It's not where I want it to go. Still got a quarter of the bottle. Maybe I'll block the overflow and just try bubble some air out of it. Shoot. Can't believe. Maybe I'll jack up the right side of it and I'll elevate. Elevate. Of course, the phone will fall over, I'm sure of it. Keep an eye on things. Sometimes I'm not recording when I think I am. I'm just not paying attention. Like when I locked the keys in my car yesterday. And I didn't have a spare. The spare didn't work. I have no idea where I got that spare from. It's like I had somebody else's key. Can't go up too much because I'm tugging on my ratchet strap. That's not going to make a difference. Lots of chunks in there, but they're all going into the overflow hose. That's not where I want them to go. Shoot, 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 shoot. I can always drain some to the bottom, but where's the drain plug? Where's my flashlight? On the fender. There it is. this trailer. Slippery. Oh, the rad support is nasty looking. I'm going to pause. You guys are falling asleep. I can hear you snoring. Okay. I was able to leave my cord behind. Oh, I was able to loosen the petcock on this radiator, which surprised me because usually the little handle turns and nothing else does. So there it is down there. And it actually turned. Usually it just turns in the little pipe, little brass threaded pipe. Oh yeah, antifreeze everywhere. Oh, fresh antifreeze. Don't need to drain much. I don't want to rust-proof my trailer. I'd rather it rust. What am I going to do to stop this trailer from rusting in the seams? Yeah, that should be enough to dump in my K-Seal, K-Tel Records. The guy died a couple years ago in Winnipeg, was it? Stir it up. A little bottle like this. Whoop. There it is, all the chunks. Maybe I'll put some thread locker in. Good to the last drop. Alright. Put the cap back on. And I'm going to close that little petcocky thing. And crank her up and follow the directions and see what it does. I'm not sure how it could seal the leak if it's pressurized, but I guess that's its job, huh? There. Okay. That's done. Drip, 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 drip. Drip, 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 drip. So now I can crank it up and I don't see what's going to happen. Probably not very much until it does its business. Not too much chopped up wiring under here. Crank her up! Directions: shake bottle vigorously for 30 seconds and add to radiator or overflow tank. Leak will stop within 1 to 3 minutes after engine reaches operating temperature. Applied to overflow tank. Then it's got some directions on the back, and here comes a nice breeze. Winter breeze. Winter weather. Cooling systems. Capacity: any cars use a standard K-Seal 8 ounces. For larger cooling systems, heavy duty vehicles, buses, use K-Seal HD heavy duty. Shake the bottle vigorously for 30 seconds. Add the entire contents of the radiators. Expansion tank: for small cooling systems, it's possible to add just part of the bottle. Extremely well shaken. K-Seal. Once K-Seal is in the cooling system, run the engine to operating temperature so the coolant is flowing freely around the cooling system. The quickest way to take the vehicle for a gentle drive: the K-Seal flows together with the coolant, and when it reaches the leak, will then flow through the hole or crack and make a repair. After K-Seal has made a repair, it is not necessary to leave it in the system because the repair is permanent. You can either choose to replace the contents of the cooling system or leave the original K-Seal mixture in the system. If you have an over-pressurizing cooling system, then try to bypass the expansion tank. Either add K-Seal below the top hose of the radiator or drain some coolant pre-mixed with K-Seal, add it back to the system. For heater core repairs, ensure the heating is turned on. If in doubt, consult a qualified technician. K-Seal will fix most leaks in the cooling system and has a high success rate. It is used by leading roadside recovery organizations and is trusted by the trade. K-Seal is not suitable for hoses, blah, blah, blah. well, it may be going into the expansion tank, and maybe I should take it for a drive, a gentle drive around the block. And I haven't driven this truck because my buddy Nick did, so maybe I'm going to put the wheel back on, take off the ratchet strap, and unload it from my trailer after I hook up my trailer to the Blazer. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and sorry it's so long, but we had some success, I think. Or partial success anyways.